Well, hello there, guys. Welcome to the YouTube video here on the channel. My name is Emily Jane. Today, we are here at Wuppertal, at Hagen Yard in Germany. We are driving this MRCE BR185 on an intermodal train. Interesting, I'll just quickly show this off. These are the intermodal wagons that they made. And for those of you who speak Czech, vždy ovládat oba přestavovače NO. So this is, yeah. Logiska, so basically this one is repairing on the 19th of 10, 2013. Which is probably past the date this route's supposed to be in, but hey. But yes, these are the intermodal wagons. I don't know, I'm climbing up on it. I'll hop back down. But anyway, it's time to get going with our train today. So we're going to have one stop only, and that's at Wuppertal's Steinbeck Yard, which is in around, let's knock that light off, that looks horrible, in around 27 kilometres from now. So I'm going to set my reverser to neutral, and then we'll have a look around back here. So I'm going to set my headlights today. PZB and CFIT are on, and I'm going to press my release button and hold it for the count of 10. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There we go. Back in the front, what we'll do is I'm just going to go and turn AFB on, set my reverser forward, set my AFB to 40k because that's our starting speed limit out of here, and we'll get going. So I'm going to set my headlights to slightly higher just because there's no trains coming the other way, and it's just so we can obviously see what's going on a bit better because it's quite a cloudy day. So let's do that, and then let's do that. So I'm going to set the brake off. We'll go a quick blast on the horn, and we can go right away. So I'm going to set a bit of power, just get us moving. I'll open the windows either side, just for fun, just so you can hear the tracks a little bit better. I do feel like I'm driving Traxxas a lot at the moment, but until they add a Vectron to Train Sim World, that's going to be the main steed. I am going to be covering well, this is probably actually released after, but I'm going to be covering the Hamburg-Lübeck route after this. So I can't express any opinions on how things are developed yet. So as you can see, we've got the proceed aspect here. It's a rather complicated signal there. I believe that is just basically a departure restriction. So I'm going to acknowledge it. Actually, it's a little too loud for me, and a little bit too loud for you. So I'm going to do that. Which is fine. But the tracks is it's a pretty good fun loco, so I'm just going to set full power in the box now. We're under a 1000 Hz magnet, which is fine. That's Hagen Station on the right hand side. Yeah, as you can see, sorry, the weather I'm using is autumn cloudy. I basically took a bit autumn cloudy, then added a bit more cloud to make it almost overcast. So it's just just to add a bit of variety to the view, really. Looking out, yeah, it's Hagen Station. You can see this. There should be a 442 hanging out in there, I think. There it is, 442. No, 422 even. No, I actually remember like 422s versus 442s was that confusing that one of the dev managers at Dovetail had like a little thing on his pin board. 442, Kolnacken. 422. Well, it's what helps check Rhine Ruhr now, HRO. But at the time it was NRN, North Rhine Mainline, which is why the file's called that if you look in your Train Sim World folder. But yeah, it was like, and I still get them confused. But they'll put a couple of trains along here. Hopefully we'll get a loco DLC for that one day. So we're sitting at this speed now. Yeah, so really we've basically got to set at 40 over this hump. I'm just going to clear that now. Oh, I can't. What a shame. So, the maximum speed of our train today is 120 kilometers an hour. We're 311 meters long, and we weigh 754 tons. So, not that heavy, but not that light either. Quick cab tour of the tracks. It's pretty self-explanatory. So, speedometer here, the little yellow diamond, that is my AFB. So AFB is it's sort of cruise control really, but it's not at the same time. It's sort of more of a speed limiter system. But it also brakes, so you'll see as we go down this slope here, it'll kick into braking. But it basically is it's a speed control system fitted to German trains. So you've got the speed in the centre there and the outside. Some tracks have an LZB system there. This is the PZB indicator, which basically is limiting us to 70 kph. You can see the rheostatic brake kicking on now. Which brings us perfectly to this screen here. So this is a power brake indicator. So you can see we're pretty much in full rheostatic braking mode now. So if it's in orange, you're braking. If it's in blue, you're under power, basically.
Zugbeeinflussung.
The T shows us that we've got interlocks. So these are multi-traffic locos. So they can handle passengers as well as traffic. As well as goods traffic. Basically tells us we've got interlocks, so we can take power. And DB was set up to operate in Germany. So obviously, Europe is landlocked, and there are subtle differences between the Austrian, Swiss, and German railways. So you can basically go into a menu in here and set that up correctly. You can see that a little light just came on there, which said SIFA. That is a driver alertness system, basically making sure that I'm awake and conscious. So what I can do now is I can advance the throttles up to 120. So we passed that 150 sign, which is the point at which we can accelerate. So you're going to see the trains are going to go flat out basically, and it's going to take us a while to get up to 120 because this is quite a hilly route, but we'll get you there.
Siefer.
So you've got a bit of wheel slip, so I'm just going to pull the power back so it's not bouncing as much, like that. And we're just going to accelerate away gradually. I wouldn't call it slowly. You can see from an external view, we've got quite a long tray on the back. And, all those containers can be full of pretty much anything, so, these can get pretty heavy. But, yeah, that's the main sort of stuff on these screens. This is the Afb controller, so this, as I mentioned, is what controls the diamond. So if I press, I think it's the R key, I can increase it, I forget what it is to decrease it. We'll just put it back to 120 manually. That's a throttle. So that basically just tells us how, controls how much power we're putting down. Sanding controls, brake overcharge, I believe that is. Well, it's brake release is officially what it's called, but I assume that means it's brake overcharge. We've got the headlight controls, the cab light control, the desk light controls, and the cab light controls. They've got the train brake and the electric brake together. They're linked, but you can unlink them if you so choose. Basically, the electric brake is rheostatic, so it's using the engine to instead of using air power, and the train brake uses air to slow the train down. Then got the loco brake, which is entirely redundant if we're not running like loco. Got the door controls, which we obviously can't use, and the two-tone horn controlled by the spacebar and the B key. So I'm going to go to the external camera, just let you hear that. Also, this weather is nice. I'm trying to quickly grab a screenshot. That's too treey. I'll try and grab a screenshot from probably a different run. Let's see. Over on the right hand side, you've got the PZB controls, you've got PZB release.
Zugbeeinflussung.
So you've got PZB acknowledge, PZB release, and PZB override. PZB acknowledge, so if we only pass a speed warning, an adverse signal, we trigger that. And that's basically telling the train, yes, I know. PZB free, that releases us from any speed restrictions imposed by the PZB. PZB override, that's for passing signals of danger without having an emergency brake application. Pantograph up down, main circuit breaker controls, I believe that is train power, and then you've got the engine AC controls. You've then got the number of amps we're getting from the OLI, so we're getting 300 amps, sorry, correction, 1500 kilovolts, and we're using 300 amps. So 1500 kilovolts AC is pretty standard, but that can vary. If you have things like transformers offline, or basically just reduce power for whatever reason, you can get a lot less power. I've seen that as low as I've seen photos from different countries where that's been really quite low actually, and sort of below 1,000 low. So we can now just go full power up this hill. Now, I'm going to look for my thingy.
Ziva.
So really, we can stay at 120 until 117.6, which is around 20 kilometers away. So we can just, or 15, that's correction. So we can actually go pretty quick in this. Well, it's not pretty quick, it's pretty stable. There we go, that'll do me. There we go. There we go. That's a thumbnail right there. So the game froze when I was taking the screenshots. That's because I was using Control F12. If you have a look at my How to Train Sim World 2 or How to Train Simulator series, there's actually a video on there explaining how to take screenshots in Train Sim World 2, because I don't know. To me, it's a pretty self-explanatory process. To some people, it's not. So yeah, yeah. Let's see. That's the cab tour complete. You've got AC controls down there. You've got the Afb control that we turned on, and the emergency brake valve. So back here, you've got the PZB CFIT on-off. It's fitted with LZB, but it's not modelled, hence I can't enable it. Headlight controls, parking brake on-off. That basically locks out the controls in the cab. Pantograph controls. It's stuff you know. When I do cab tours, I generally cover what you use in daily operation, and I've covered all of that off now. Looking around. Emergency brake plunger as well, that's handy to know about. Finally, you've also got a basic control system here, so you can stand at the window with your head out and shunt using these controls, which is quite nice in my opinion. Let's get our bearings. 131.6, so there's a 120 limit coming up, that's fine because we're going to be at that speed, and we're going to be passing Afb Station soon. Now there is a mod on one of the websites that allows you to run 442s on this route. There's the 120. Oh dear, we're already at that speed. That allows you to run the BR442s on this route, on this section. So to give you a basic idea of the world that we're in, you have the S-Bahn line, which goes from here, Wuppertal up to Hagen, and basically just takes a chicane route that way. We've also got what is effectively the fast route of the freight route, which is this one here, which is what we're on today. I am going to be covering the S-Bahn route in the future. I just had the notes done for this, and I thought, you know what, I've not pushed a video in a couple of days, so I've done a video in a couple of days, so I'd rather get this done. And then, you know, it's just something less for me to worry about and keep thinking about, that I've got it there waiting to be done. I'm actually off to work in the not too distant future. I'm not sure what time it is, but yeah. So I'm doing this before work, which is quite rare. Hello 143! With some dust stocks. I should have tipped the headlights as he passed, but oh well. I've done a lot worse than that today. But you can see we're at full power. We're going up quite a steep slope here, so the train's just not getting above 107, even though we're putting maximum tractive effort down. So as you get faster, the tractive effort, the amount of tractive effort the train can put down decreases. So it gets a bit strange like that, but yeah, basically. Yeah. One of the things I'm not actually too sure on is if the AI in TSW2 respects the maximum speed of a train. So for example, I know it will if you drive that train that went the other way. If you drive from the 143 end, they're limited to 140, I think, whereas the Dostocks can do 160. So if you drive from the 143, or the AI is driving with 143 end leading, I know that will lead to the reduced speed. I'm not sure what this grass is doing. And I've got no mods in at all. This is completely bone stock. Right, we're now approaching the descent into Wuppertal, so I'm just gonna... Yeah, we've got a while, I think, until we need to worry about slowing off. We can see the speed. It's 126. Yeah, so the next we've got 1176 is where it's the 100 warning.
Ziva.
And that still gives us a kilometre to slow down, which is more than enough time. So you've got the 160 post, so the 160 post, that's 1248. Basically, the notes I've written are the same as what would appear on this screen here, which is the Ebola screen. They are looking to bring that into the game, from what I'm aware. But yeah, that'll probably take a little bit of time to implement. But it would be very nice just to have a system where we can just, effectively, because I see what Ebola does is it says this is where the stations are, this is your speed limits, this distances. So really all you need to know is the braking characteristics of your train, and you could theoretically drive a train anywhere, which I think is quite cool. So we're now on 1244. So yeah, still plenty of time. That's another. That is a tracks. Well, that's one of the faster tracksers. So this train here is limited to 140, or this loco. He's limited to 160, I believe, because he's a passenger train. And then that is the 422 in motion, but he'll cross over and go onto the S-Bahn lines. This is one of the other freight yards in Wuppertal that isn't actually used that much in service mode. That's the proper intermodal yard. I feel like I should be slowing down now, and it stresses me. Cool. Basically, there's what I call a PZB trap on one of the approaches here, and I always get caught out by it, and that's why I'm stressed, because I don't want to get PZB'd and have to re-record 70 minutes of video, but still. Yeah. You can tell I'm not recording a lot, because I actually find it quite easy to talk about stuff. If I've recorded like 10 videos in a row, I'm like, what do I talk about now? I don't know, I feel like... yeah, I feel like it sounds like I'm on crack, but I'm not on crack, I promise. 1214, that is the limit for the 130, which, so it was good to hit the acknowledge because I didn't see it in time, but, to recognise it wasn't one for us to be concerned about, but hey.
Seefahrt Zwangsbremsung.
No Zwangsbremsung. So, the good thing about SIFA is as soon as you reset it, you effectively get your control of your train back. So all I'm going to do is I basically had to reduce power, then re-increase it, and you can see the trains taking power again. So the brakes start to release as soon as you acknowledge the SIFA thing, but yeah, basically. So they release as soon as you acknowledge, but that can take some time. But obviously, I hit it as soon as he said SIFA's Zwangsbremsung. I can't speak German. That's, by the way, is the Wuppertal monorail. Monorail. Sorry. Let's see, what are we at now? 119.4. We're still way ahead. But yeah, that's the Wuppertal monorail. James Bond's written on that, apparently. Well, that was in one of the Bond movies. I'm not sure which one. But it was also a Tom Scott video, and I mean, who's cooler, Tom Scott or James Bond? I'm not sure. Yeah. Also, please tell me I'm not the only one who's binge watching enough of The Simpsons to get that reference. 1186. That's a kilometre from the 100 warning now. So keeping my eyes peeled. Whew. Let's do this. I mean, I'm going to hit the speed back as soon as we pass it, just so we don't have any issues. But yeah. The thing is, the 100 limit kicks in at 1166, 200 meters, ready on the page down, which is the key command for PZB acknowledge.
Zugbeeinflussung.
And then all I'm going to do is just set my thing to 100, but I need to be at 40 in 2K, so actually I'm just going to wallop it back to about 80. Because at the end of the day, we're a freight train, we've had a clear run, no one's going to object to us driving a bit slower here than we need to. 1168. So apparently we've showed that, no. So, I'm going to hit 60 in the window. And as soon as I start Wuppertal Station, I'm going to put 40 in. So as you can see, I got PZB trapped.
Zwangsbremsung.
And I'm not editing that out because that's really frustrating.
Zwangsbremsung. 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 Zwangsbremsung.
So this is how you reset. So you press your end. So to reset from a PZB application, you press your end key, and then you wait for your brake to release. So you can see the pressure's now building. This may take some time. Although that could be a good screenshot. To commemorate this moment forever. There you go, so that's the sound of the brake coming off, so I can take a lump of power now. Set my thing to 40, well, set it to 40 because, well, you know, we're on our way to the station now, so. That's not depressed. The brake does look released now. So, that off, that on. Stand it up. Fully, preferably. There you go. So, now there you have it. But basically, that is, I always get caught out in that area. It must happen a lot IRL, because that is quite a complicated part of the route. Or, I don't know, do drivers just have the experience when they've driven it, you know, 100 times to not do it? I don't know. Agreed. And a flashing green, which I think means we're crossing over in the near future. You can see I've got the 40 there, so I'm just going to take the 40 from this thing here.
Sifa.
Shush.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Okay, apparently that doesn't.
Zwangsbremsung. Zwangsbremsung.
I pressed the page down as soon as it sprung into me. Oh well.
Zwangsbremsung. Zwangsbremsung.
Turns out I don't know signal knowledge.
Zwangsbeeinflussung.
So now we just wait for that air pressure to build again. Well, I'm just going to go and yeet myself. Yeah, I'll show you James Bond again. Oh look, there goes a cable car. Or monorail. 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 I'm definitely the worst case of off-brand PTG ever, aren't I? So. Reverse it. Forward. Take. Full power. As you can see, they've got Hapag-Lloyd branding privileges and Hamburg Süd. You can see it just sometimes takes a while for the train to overcome its own inertia. No, okay. So, brake is fully off. If I hold it in the release position, that basically just dumps any air pressure or any, you know, remaining stuff. Please, train, don't brake.
Zugbeeinflussung. Zugbeeinflussung.
There we go. Oh, no. It's died again. It's impressive, though, the fact that we've got 700 tons on the back and we can just take it out in full power without getting any noticeable wheel slipping. So we'll get up to 40, 45. So yeah, we'll go up to 40 and then coast. That's what we'll do. Yeah, that's probably the best with the monorail. Fun fact, the episode of The Simpsons that has the monorail was actually written by Conan O'Brien. I believe it's his voice in it as well, who's the guy. Yeah, basically it's... I'm not explaining the premise of a Simpsons episode in a train sim video. No, not happening. This is Wuppertal Ausbahnhof, or HBF for short. So we're just going to coast in because we don't know if the signal's been changed because of how much we've been dilly-dallying. Dilly-dallying. Yeah, so it's at the end of the station. We need to be at 40 basically. And then we need to enter the yard at 20, and then just stop against a signal, I guess. I'm not actually I've done the notes for this a while ago, so I can't remember what the stop point is. This could be awkward. Fingers on buzzers. Ready to acknowledge that, yes, I know PZB.
Zugbeeinflussung.
I love how it's a 70 warning. About the 40. I'm just at the train coasting because I believe it's about a couple hundred metres down here. There's basically the entrance. Oh no, I'll keep the 40 holding. That's fine. Yeah, this is Wuppertal Steinbeck Station. And this is basically the last station on the route, if you like, that you can drive a 4422. 4222. 4222. I've not done crack, I promise. But I think the only part of that you can do is literally Steinbeck into Wuppertal proper. So got the 40 warning,
Zugbeeinflussung.
which I acknowledge. Seafair. And okay, so the speed, we must be going on a different part of the yard because the speed obviously hasn't dropped to 20, so we'll just coast to the end. And then, yeah, get her stopped. So you can see they've got some petroleum wagons over there. I had a bit of motion blur issues. Or loading issues, I think that might even be. Yeah. But we'll get pulled in here. I'm just going to stop against the signal at the end, so I'm going to acknowledge this.
Zugbeeinflussung.
35 is now the limiting point, which is fine. C for clear. And there you go. So that was a Hagen to Wuppertal Steinbeck Yard run. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully... Did you think I'd get PZB'd at least twice? I thought I would. Go figure. I'm going to stop against the end here and just do it nice and gentle. Okie doke. So, it's going to end it. Okay, yeah, the service has ended yet, or have I stopped too short? I've stopped 26 minutes too short. Okay. So I really need to be against that signal by the looks of things. So the train's just going to rest here for a while before it continues on its journey and be taken up by another driver. I assume if we were continuing the journey, then, well, I'd assume we probably would continue the journey because 27k is a short, journey to drive. But who knows? I'm honestly not familiar with German railways at all. So, yeah. Right, that's accepted it. So what we'll do is we'll just... So we didn't speed at all, which is good. Got a gold medal. Had a couple of emergency applications, which is fair enough, I suppose. What I'll do, but you can see actually the profile of how the speeds affected the train. Apparently it's my first service on RRO. So I must have made these notes right all the way back in Train Sim World 1. Interesting. What we'll do is we're going to shut the cab down of the train. So take that to off. That off, that off. Then we're going to stand up. Those can go to tail lamp markers, and I'm going to apply the parking brake. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. It's now applying, and what I'll do is I'm also going to lock out the controls in this cab. So basically, no matter what happens with the controls, the train won't actually move. Looking around the cab, have I left anything? No, no, no. So what I'll do is I'm just going to leave the train now. Oh, thank you for that. Interestingly, according to the game, I moved the train 10 centimetres. But yeah, as you can see, that is this service completed. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. Oh, it's off. Bye. That's this service completed. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.